Yo! It's good, y'all. Surprise, man. Today, we're back with another video. This is, well, first of all, hold on. It's funny because my teeth aren't white, but in a good enough lighting, they do look white. But anyway, let's get right into the video. So, this is Sasha Banks slash Mercedes Moné finally making her rumored debut at Wrestle Kingdom 17, man. It was great to see. Of course, I tried to stay, well, obviously I had school the next day because that's when I had to go back to school, which was yesterday, but then now came back from school, it's nighttime. So Japan, they had a pay-per-view. I think they're like 15, I looked it up, they're like 15 hours ahead of us, and it was just crazy how that happens. But crazy how different the time zone is from like in here, because in Japan, like the pay-per-view was going on from like 3 to like 7 or something like that. It was just going on for like a minute. And for me it was like 3 to 7. Or it was like 1 to 2 a.m. and all that. And it was, yeah, I was able to catch the Osprey and Omega match. It was a pretty good match. Now I don't know the banger, because I think people start using banger nowadays. Like, I don't put that on the same level as Gunther and Sheamus, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that was a different type of battle. I don't know if I put, even though they were definitely battling, but I don't know if I put it on that level. But that was a pretty good match, man. I thought it was a pretty good match. I think that's the only match I saw. I didn't get to see Mercedes come back live because by that time I had fell asleep. And again, had school the next day, so I was trying not to go to bed like too late. But even then, I was just staying up, like, But anyway, it was one of those things, man. She had a move. So it's like a gory bomb, and you're supposed to twist it into a DDT. It's like, yeah, you have them up on your shoulders like a backpack, and then you quarter turn it, and then she was supposed to land on her feet, and then you do a DDT. So it's like land on your feet, and then you go into a DDT. And it botched. I think Kairi Sane just didn't know that she was supposed to land on her feet, so that's why she fell on her knee. But nah, Mercedes, like, even though when she realized she fell to her knee, she still fell back and did the DDT. So it actually didn't look. It looked bad, but I don't think it looked as bad as people made it out to be. I think people like to exaggerate things just because they can. But I thought it was a good debut. She cut a pretty good promo, basically just saying, who she is, man. It's just another way of saying that she's the boss, except she says that she's the CEO. But either way, same type of character, just a little more amplified. And she looked great, from the hairstyle to the outfit, man. She looked great in there. And then she has a match with Kairi Sane on February 18th. Now, let's get to what everybody's been talking about. Is she going to be Saraya's mystery opponent? I saw Dynamite, and then I saw Saraya mentioning that it's going to be Toni Storm. Now, do I think, and they announced it as Toni Storm, but it's one of those things where I don't know. Everyone's saying, oh, it's going to be a Swerve. Mercedes is coming. There's a report that says that she's just signed with All Elite Wrestling. Well, she's still on the WWE roster page, and it's crazy that they haven't taken her off yet, because legally they have to take her off the second she's not with them anymore. So I don't know if she's still with WWE in some type of way, because she's still on their roster page, and they update that quick. So it's not like, oh, we missed, oh, she's on there, oh, I didn't know. Like, nah, bro. Especially if they're talking to talent like this, like, yeah, you're not gonna forget to take them off your roster page. Now, is she gonna be there next week? I'm not sure. This is one of the things where I seriously don't know this time. And yeah, but first, actually, before I even say that, bro, I gotta address the people who are saying this was the worst like debut ever. I don't know where that comes from. I think the second she botched the move, which I do agree, it's kind of a lot to get to a DDT. It's a lot of crazy movement to get to a DDT, to save yourself the time or like the botch. I do think she probably should have gone with a simpler move. Like, just thinking of random ones off the top of my head. She could have gone with like an X-Plex, the one where you get them in suplex position, but then you push like their head all the way over. It's like you push them up suplex position, and then you push forward where they like pull where their head is, and then you can land like that. And just thinking of random stuff off the top of my head. And she could have, maybe done something like that. But something a little simpler I would recommend. I mean, if she wants to do that move and they know how to hit it, I would be fine if, like, she hit it at some point during a match with her. Because, she gives everybody the best match. So of course, we know it's gonna be a good match between those two, and I'm looking forward to seeing it if I can. You know, I don't know what time it's gonna be on, but if I can, definitely will see it. Like, try to see it live. Like, I'll be able to probably watch the replay, but to see it live, you know, that'd be cool. Um, but no, I mean, I think people were over exaggerating it, and then there were people saying like, "Oh, this is the worst decision she ever made. She should have stayed in WWE," or like they feel betrayed, and she just gets all this hate and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh gosh. First of all, wrestling is a business. If you are not treated well, you stand up for yourself and you go somewhere else. Because at the end of the day, it's a business. Like contractually, yeah, for a certain amount of time, yeah, you're loyal to the company. But if you decide to leave when your contract's up, that doesn't mean you were disloyal. Because you, wait, what do you mean? I was there and I didn't do any business ventures with other companies until my contract ended. So, you know, I abide by what the contract said, and I waited it out. So just because I want to decide I don't want to be with the company anymore, like that doesn't automatically mean that I was dishonest or I wasn't loyal. I went somewhere else because I wasn't getting treated well the place I was, and rightfully so that she walked out. I mean, you see what happened with Charlotte Flair winning the title for the 14th time. I mean, when you see something like that, I mean, really, what motivate for everyone thinking she should be in WWE and she's gonna suck in AEW because they don't have a good track record of getting people on television and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, what makes you think in WWE is gonna be any better? She literally walked out of WWE. Why would it would honest if she came back, I wouldn't be surprised if she came back to WWE, but at the same time, it would be weird if that's the first place she came back to, because if you just left, why would the first thing you do is go back to the place you left? Like, I'm fine with her going to like New Japan first, because I'm like, if you just left this place, why would you return back to the same place you walked out of? It kind of looked kind of weird and almost like as if you walked out for nothing. So I'm actually fine if she goes. Now, like I say, I don't know if she's going to AEW. I'll say this: if she does show up there, that's a pop out of me, instant pop out of me. No matter who's in the house, they gonna hear me, like, mark out for that little second, man, because this is a big star who was not treated like a big star in WWE, and I know people think that because they gave her like 6 championships, but yet 3 of those were within the same like month, or like it was like within 3 months, and it was just traded back and forth with no surprise Charlotte Flair. So you can really only say 4 title reigns, but anyway, it's just one of those things where it's like, you get treated badly there and get promised twice that you were getting a tag division and you don't get it. It's like, man, and you're trying to do this for everybody. Like, it's not just she's just caring about herself. Like, you're trying to create a tag division that'll help everybody, so that when you put it on established women like Sasha and Naomi, by the time other people get it, it means something. But nah, they just don't see that type of vision. But if she goes to AEW, again, pop out of me, man. I don't really care where she goes, man. As long as she is treated well and is happy with what she's doing, that's what a true supporter of her would do. If you really support somebody, you shouldn't. The company at that point should not matter where they end up. And WWE hasn't been doing well with Gargano, Dexter Lumis, Bronson Reed. Karrion Kross isn't really doing anything. So, this is not like WWE's this golden place where everyone's treated well. Like, people will name, oh, well, this guy's doing good, and then, but meanwhile in AEW, this guy isn't on TV. So now we're trying to make AEW seem like they're the only ones with problems, and WWE with Triple H is fixing all of them. Which WWE, to me, is honestly just like slightly better. It's like slightly better, because if you realize in WWE, it's not even Triple H creating any of the storylines we have in WWE, because the only storyline that's there is Bray Wyatt and LA Knight loving that storyline, but we all know that's Bray's hands on that, man. Now, I will give Triple H credit where credit is due. The only credit you can give him is he's allowing people to be themselves, right? Like Nikki Cross turned back into the crazy Nikki we knew, and LA Knight was back to LA Knight. Really proud to see that, because he was one of my like top 5 wrestlers of like this modern generation. He was like in my top 5, along with obviously 4 others if you want to know. LA Knight, MJF, Cody, especially when he comes back, Roman, and who was the last one? So I got LA Knight, Cody, Roman, MJF, and dang, why can't I think of the other one off the top of my head? Why can't I think of this? I'm actually not gonna cut this out because I want this to. Bro, what? How did I forget? It's the same 5 every time. Wow, I'm actually blanking out on the 5th one. That's crazy. Oh, dang. Yo, that actually sucks, bro. Wait. Oh, Bray. There you go. So it's Roman, Cody, Bray, MJF, and LA Knight. Those are mine. Not in any specific order, but like those are my top 5 right now in like the modern generation in the sense of who I feel is like captivating support, right, a fan of, but also that I feel is captivating the world on and firing off on every cylinder. That's who I feel like are doing that right now. And that was before they even like that was before Bray even came back or LA Knight even got back to his character. Like that was my top 5 even before they were in like important programs or before MJF became champion. But anyway, I will say he's allowing people to get their, characters back and allowing more things to happen. But in a sense of like the creative tribute to the show, I don't think Triple H has been doing it. I think everyone, like Bray Wyatt, clearly he's in charge of that whole storyline. LA Knight's doing great, and Bray's doing great with all the twists and turns and different characters being introduced, and making us putting elements together so that we have more to find out in the future. Doing great things there, and obviously the KO Sammy, all right, bloodline storyline that's been there before Triple H took over. So that's why I say, even if you want to go with the two, you look at the two only storylines going on in WWE, like that has nothing to do with Triple H. It was either already in place or you clearly know, like that's just him approving, which again, give him credit for. He's approving these things. Like it's really just him approving their creative ideas and outputs, which I'm glad he is. But that's really the only difference, man. Mercedes Moné, man, love it and appreciate her for what she does. Truly someone who loves wrestling and someone who is great at it. That being said, all the people who just want to keep her in WWE, dude, when you're treated unfairly, you move on. You move and go to another place. Of course, we would have wanted it to work out there. But at the end of the day, somebody who is a star like she is just needs to be treated like a star. If you have to go, and New Japan is more of a dream of hers anyway, so if you have to go to New Japan, you got to go to AEW. And nothing says she signed. Even if she ends up in AEW, we don't know. Does she show up as a free agent or does she actually sign there? You never know. But it's just one of those things where, like, if you feel you can, and maybe she goes back, right? Maybe she does all this freely that you couldn't do under a WWE contract, and then you go back to WWE, and maybe things have probably gotten better. But you never know. But I just feel like she's having fun with this, or she wants to have fun with this and continue to do great things, especially for the division as a whole, and really put it on the map in her own way, like a Rock or Stone Cold put their era in a map. In her own way, she wants to put the women's division on the map, and love and appreciate it. And if I would rely on anyone to do it, that's her, man. I truly think she gives everybody their best match if you look at her track record, and hope she continues to do great things. But yeah. And of course, she got a lot of hate, but honestly, if people aren't hating, you're not really making any type of impact. That's just real. If you have no haters or nobody dislikes you or hates you, that means you're not making an impact. Or no one cares about you. Love and appreciate you guys. About to come back with, more videos and all this type of stuff, getting back into the groove of things as our break is now over. Not that I wasn't posting during the break, but the break is now over. Christmas, Christmas break, not really the break from the channel. But anyway, you got it. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Like, comment, subscribe on the way out. The Prodigy. And I'm out. Peace.